Most people are trying to manifest from their mind, but the truth is that manifestation is all governed by your sacral chakra. And if you are trying to manifest or you find your reality is not what you want it to be, you have a blocked sacral chakra. So today I'm going to be going over specifically how to connect with your sacral chakra, how to really heal your sacral chakra so that you can manifest a new reality into your life and stop being blocked to the reality that you want to call in. The sacral, the womb, is connected to the blueprint of our body, our being, and our DNA. And with that being said, that means that the sacral holds every single trauma, memory, subconscious thought, whether seen or unseen, even before we are born. So again, a lot of people tend to go into opening the third eye and insight or wanting enlightenment and awakening, but where they find themselves blocked is, how do I make these things actually happen in my reality? Why aren't they happening? Why am I doing all this healing for years? I remember for years I would do healing and ceremonies, and I was wondering, well, I'm doing all the work, so shouldn't my life be changing as it should be as well? And it was because my sacral chakra wasn't fully activated and I wasn't manifesting from the center. I was manifesting from the process of, well, the expectation because I healed and it wasn't coming from a creative space. It wasn't coming from a space of desire. It was coming from a space of expected results. And when we start to manifest from expected results, we're then manifesting from our mind. Another part that we really tend to avoid, and why you can't manifest without the sacral chakra. When we manifest from the mind, we then cannot allow these things to land in our reality. It's like keeping everything up here. And one of the things in practice, as I always share with people, especially for women at my women's retreats, is we do this practice of voice and understanding our true voice. And the voice is actually connected directly to the sacral. For us to speak our truth, our sacral has to be unblocked. For us to speak into existence, to write it, to say it out loud, to visualize it, to match the frequency of the manifestation, our voice must be in true authenticity and energy. So you can see again where the sacral is connected to creation, receiving, manifesting, birthing. After all, you are birthed here because of the sacral chakra. Let's go into some blockages that can come up that is preventing you from manifesting the reality that you want to receive. And the first and foremost one is constantly repeating the same cycles of relationships. For years, I always was wondering why I would always have friendships where it felt like it was one-sided. And it was because I had to understand the medicine and the block that I had around that sacral chakra energy was that I had to give in order to receive. I had to show up a certain way that met the expectation of the person I am seeing or the person I am friends with. And if it didn't match, then I was a failure. Then I wasn't accepted. And that had to go all the way back to the first moments of my life when I was 4 years old in kindergarten getting bullied because I didn't meet the circumstances or what, visually or energetically people were. And I created a whole identity around that was blocking my energy. I wasn't able to create because I felt that I could only create if I had approval from other people, which then created another part of me, which was people pleasing. Then I was manifesting a whole life based on what was given to me, not what I was printing myself, not what I was creating and painting myself. So again, this is where we're repeating cycles. Look at your relationships. What are the desires that you are receiving from these relationships? What are they creating? What situations do they create? For example, whenever I would hang out with certain friends, I noticed that I would create a sense of an anxiety. So right after hanging out with them, I would be going home super anxious because the judgment I felt that was reoccurring in my mind was feeding into my body. And that meant that that was energy that I could be putting into a new reality, a new relationship that was giving me life instead of taking life away from me. And I didn't realize how much my whole life was around this block and energy of people pleasing and creating a relationship that was basically attached to my traumas, my guilt, my pain, my people pleasing. Another block that comes up when you are working with the sacral chakra and wanting to manifest that can prevent you from manifesting a new reality is feeling creativity drained and just uninspired. You ever have that time where you have like a writer's block or a creative block, and you want to do something and you're like wondering why don't I feel energetic? Why don't I feel excited about this, right? And every time those things happen, I notice it's because I myself haven't exercised that creative energy. So I remember years I used to dance a lot. And eventually when I went back to dancing, I noticed that I didn't really enjoy it as much. And what I learned was that because I was working so much on my authentic self and healing through my shadow work, I used to dance and heal, but dance for competition, right? To look a certain way, to be judged. And I did competitive dancing. But now that I'm not, that competitive version of me is now, that desire is not there, then I had to relearn the relationship with dancing, right? So in order for us to be motivated, there needs to be a desire. And we're not talking about the desire of the outcome. We're talking about the desire of the process, the desire of creating it. It's like building a house. It's not that the end of it is great, you have this beautiful home that you love and the dream home, but the process of the desire of choosing the tiles and choosing the paint and choosing the curtains, that whole part is what allows us to create in the same way of our life, right? So what are you creating in your life? And if you are feeling lack of desire, that is a sign that a lot of the things that you're doing in your life aren't out of desire, but out of outcome. And when it's out of outcome, that is from the mind. It is not from the sacral chakra. Another sign that your sacral chakra is blocked, which is preventing you from manifesting the reality that you came here to receive, is that your manifestations don't stick and they feel inconsistent. So for example, sometimes people, I see them manifest and they want to manifest, a vacation, right? And you decide after doing a visualization, writing in your journal, that you want to do a vacation for a week in Jamaica, right? All-inclusive luxury. And then all of a sudden you get a bill. And that bill is a little bit higher than you expected. And it feeds off of this lack of being able to receive this vacation, because now you're seeing it as this money has been taken away from my savings of me being able to get this luxury resort vacation. And then another situation happens where I end up having maybe a look at flights and I can't find the date that works well. Or now that my boss is saying, well, that's the time where people take a lot of time off, so you can't take the holiday this time, you're gonna have to wait. So when we have these situations, what it's creating is we start to attach from the response of the universe. And what the response of the universe is giving you is tests and misalignment. So you have to ask yourself, in this situation, is it a test or is it an opportunity for me to align into what I'm calling it? So is it an opportunity for me to advocate with my boss that I really need this time off? And I really feel like it would be beneficial for me. And, maybe I've worked many vacations and holidays when no one could, and I'd really appreciate it if you were able to. Or would it be different if I looked at that bill and said, okay, that's fine. And then who knows, maybe I go online, the universe gives me money through a sale, A sale is not a sale of discount. It's actually the universe giving you money. Just that switch alone, right? Now I don't look at sales as a discount. I now look at it like the universe is giving me money. That's how I need to think, right? Because if I think that way, I'm thinking that they're taking away something, and then I'm believing that I'm chasing after the taking away of the value of just a number, right? And then that's something about me, right? It's a mirror of medicine for me. If your manifestation is not sticking, this is a sign that you're inconsistent of the energy of your manifestation based on the way that the universe is responding to what you claimed, right? And some things that you should do is ensure that you're constantly reminding yourself of the feeling, the visualization. And I talked about this in a video, a TikTok I talked about and I recorded. I'm going to share it with you right here. How to manifest. Write it down, speak it out loud, and make sure that you visualize it, connect to the frequency, and the last part that no one ever does, repeat again and again. When you repeat doing this over and over again as a mundane but still energizing practice, what's going to happen is it's going to stick. Because with repetition, where energy flows, it goes. And this brings me to the last part of how your blockages of your sacral can be preventing you from your manifestation, and that is physical symptoms. I believe, especially as a medicine woman, as a facilitator of plant medicines and healings and working with people with somatic healing, that our body keeps the score. There's a book on that, right? I don't know if you've read it before. And it says that our bodies will tell us physically when things are off, when things are out of alignment. They give us little whispers, and eventually they scream through diseases, through illness. And, if you are noticing you're getting a lot of womb pain, maybe for some of you who are on your period, you bleed a lot, there's a lot of pain in that area, you get a lot of cysts. Again, this is a representation of an energy you've been holding and carrying for a very long time. Maybe for lineages, maybe for generations, maybe for your whole life. And you felt this heaviness for all your life. No matter how many manifestation techniques you've done, again and again, and you've done that. You've done it over and over again. And you notice you have irregular cycles, digestive issues, IBS, any of those things. Those are signs that, again, anything within the stomach and the sacral section as well is where you are literally showing a disconnect to your sensual center, to your sacral, to your womb, to your hara, right? And if there is no connection to the creative flow, to this space in the energy field of life, of birthing, then how can you create and have a desire? How can you manifest? How can you keep on reminding yourself of the frequency that you're matching? How can you keep bringing yourself this frequency that is abundantly in you, right? It may feel like it's not even possible. You see what I'm saying? So blocked energy is everything. If you have a blocked energy, it doesn't matter. All the manifestation tips, all the videos you watch, it doesn't matter. This simple thing, and in this video, I'm going to make sure that it's not even a choice for you at the end of this to not have a way to unblock every manifestation. Because again, it's your birthright and it's your responsibility also to look at those blocks. So now let's go into the 3 steps to healing your sacral. Manifesting into this new reality. Now that we know the blocks, now that we went into why the sacral is important to clear for the new reality, we're now going to shift into these 3 very important steps. Get a pen and paper if you haven't already. Write them down. Do what you got to do because this is important, and put it somewhere where you're going to see it all the time. The first thing is release stored shame and guilt. Movement, breath work, sacred activation. Part of clearing the sacral energy is getting into your body. Because when we manifest something into a reality is here, right? We're here together. We're watching this video. We're connecting. We're having this conversation here. And that's the reality, right? You're watching it here. And if we are kind of thinking of all the things I have to do, if I'm thinking about all the things I have to do today, my food, my dinner, I have to all these things, I'm taking myself out of the reality and I'm disconnecting. And the more I do that again and again over time and let my mind run the show, the more that I allow myself to be so robotic and not connected to my sacral, to my creative center, to my power. And the more that I end up finding myself that I'm becoming a hoarder of shame and guilt, right? I feel shameful for doing something that feels good for me and I don't know why, because you're in your mind about it. Your judgment, you're thinking about all the judgments of other people and the traumas and all that's in your mind, right? That's why I tell people all the time when I'm doing Kambo or medicine ceremonies and retreats, I'm like, purging the mind. We're purging the mind. We're purging the body, right? Because when we purge it, then we can connect. But if we don't, then we're just creating a whole bunch of layers of things we're calling in with the stability and the structure feeling like it's not alive, right? It's not connected. And eventually it's going to eat up to all the energy that you're doing and it's going to feel like a cycle. It's going to feel exhausting. It's going to feel draining. And again, movement, breath work, connecting to your soul, breathing into your sacral, expanding, inhaling through the nose. Do this about a few times while you're visualizing, breathing in for 5, exhaling out for 5. Write that down. Breathe it in for 5, exhaling out for 5. And as you do so, visualize what you're calling it. Visualize the feeling, the frequency of that, and then repeat it again and again. Morning, afternoon, in the midday. You're going to ask me how many times, Chica? As many times as it takes for you to be in the connection and fully embody the manifestation that you're calling in, right? The last thing is activate your sacral. And I'm going to share a little bit more and a tool for you at the end of this video. So make sure you keep watching it. It's going to completely change your life. But let's get into this. The second part, the second way to heal your sacral and to manifest your new reality is to rewire your relationship with desire. How many of you feel guilty for a desire? My old self felt guilty for desire all the time. My old self felt guilty for desiring to travel, to go and travel around the world because I felt like I had to, out of the eldest or out of the middle, out of 6 kids, I had to be able to, take care of everyone, take care of my mom, I felt the guilt that was on my chest, right? How many of you desire something and it just like kiboshes because you think about, oh, it's not the right moment, it's not the right time. Reality check. It's never going to be the right aligned time. The time becomes divine when you choose it to be. I don't think people talk about that enough. instead of giving your power to the angel numbers all the time, because I do a lot of those here and I love doing them and I still love them. But I was at a point sometimes at the beginning of my journey where I was giving my power to the angel numbers. I was giving my power to the guides. I was giving my power to all of that instead of co-creating with them, co-creating with the mystery, co-creating with my sacral, co-creating with my life force energy that is connected to the universal codes. If I didn't do that, then how can I have a reality that I love? How can I have a reality that I enjoy? Right? It's going to feel like I can't do that. So again, you want to give yourself permission for your wants. I want you to do a little practice with me together. We're going to do it right now. I want you to put your hands on your lower belly. Okay. We're going to just take a deep breath. Relax that belly. Exhale out. Oh, deep breath in again. Exhale out. And I want you to repeat after me. I grant myself full permission to receive my desires. I grant myself full permission to receive my desires. I grant myself full permission to receive my desires. I choose not to be guilty for my desires. I choose not to feel shameful for my desires. I feel fully allowed and aligned to receive my desires, and it is my right because I choose it to be. And I am allowed to receive every desire I want in my life. Now, as you breathe those words into your life and repeat it as many times as it takes for you to connect with that. And I want you to think about all the times that you completely allowed yourself to abandon the desires that was within you that was completely your right. And you're going to choose right now. You're not going to choose tomorrow. We're not going to wait for the divine. You're going to choose right now that I'm choosing starting today that I'm not going to feel guilty for my desires ever again. It is not going to be an option for me to abandon myself and my desires ever again. It's not going to be an option for me to abandon the part of me that is here to receive all that I am. Because when you start to do this, this is when you have an easier time tapping in. Now I can close my eyes at right now and I can feel what I'm desiring, my manifestation right now, and it's done. Boom, bam. Before, it would take me time. But as I kept repeating it and I was able to have these affirmations and listen to the parts of me throughout my everyday life where I felt guilty and say, hey, let's go back to those affirmations. It's okay to feel desire. I am safe to receive my desire. I am allowed to receive it. Repetition will heal you. Love and repetition will heal you. And I can't say that enough. This is key because if you are manifesting something, you may be rejecting your desire without you even knowing it. And that's why it's blocking, because there is a belief system that is here and you need to sit with yourself and say, what is the belief system that I'm holding, and choose today to let it go. Choose today to release it. Choose today that I am now going to be a match to my manifestation and my reality. The new one that is of all desire and love, of joy and abundance and pleasure and all the things. And that's okay. It's safe for that. Embodying and feeling. You can't embody things if you're not in your truth. If there's a part of you right now of that manifestation that you don't feel is true, or that a part of you that feels a lack of desire or ability that it can be possible, what embodiment means, it means to be fully your true self, to fully engulf in this, right? To be every single part of your cell is your manifestation, and your aura and your spirit and your mind. Every part of your universal existence is your manifestation of reality. That's it. That's what it is. That's embodiment. It's to be all of it, right? To not reject when spirit's testing you on choosing the reality you called in. When someone comes and asks you, hey, can you have time to do this? And you are now taking time for your desire to have a me day. And instead you're saying, oh man, but I manifested and Chica told me that. No. What spirit's giving you is the power to choose to say no. Because if you cannot say no, then you cannot receive and say yes to what's coming. That is number one. Write that, highlight that. If you cannot honor your no as much as you honor your yes to receiving, there is no way we can manifest our new reality. And for embodiment, we need to know the power of the two. If we don't know the power of the two, it's going to feel like we're chasing after something. And nothing manifests with chasing, right? Because it's going to feel like we're overworking. And it comes easily. It should. If it doesn't, then something's off. And the last thing I want to talk about is feeling. So manifest not just by saying it, feeling it in the body. Sometimes I do a practice where I stand and I just like breathe into my full body and I connect with my body and I say, okay, what would it feel like right now to be on holiday? Right now I'm in Spain, but what would it feel like if I wanted to feel like I wanted to be in France right now? Oh, it's right there. I'm in a car, nice little cute Fiat Go. I'm driving through the coast. I can see the ocean, the mountains, and there's a little boulangerie. And I'm gonna get my baguette, and I'm gonna get my food, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna sit in the sun, and I'm gonna take in life and say, oh, yes, this is my life. Yes, I'm enjoying it. And I'm gonna go to the beautiful villa with a pool in it, and I'm gonna see the beautiful figs on the tree and pick them and eat them freshly. And I'm gonna just sit and just relax and enjoy my life. And I feel amazing. And I felt that in like, I don't even know how long. You must have been timing it, but I'm not timing it. That was instant for me. That was like boom, bada bing, bada boom. Like there's no part of me that couldn't believe in that in this moment of me doing that. I'm there. Like I need to bring myself back here in Spain. This is what you should get at. If you practice this again and again, this is going to support you. And again, I'm going to have something very special for you. So again, stay till the end. That's going to shift it for you for sure. I want to talk a little bit more about specifically a little story to inspire you. It's gonna be quick, okay? You don't need to write it down, I just want you to receive it. One of the biggest things I had to realize when I started to manifest my reality and my sacral chakra open, because what I'm gonna offer you at the end of this video is gonna open it up. But what I will warn you is that when you open that up, it's choosing yourself again and again. It's choosing to show up. It's choosing to be embodied, to feel it all. Even the parts of the manifestation that feels like the stretching contractions of your old self, shedding its skin like a snake does. I want you to know that all of that is beauty. All of it is beauty. There is no judgment in every single part of you. And if I wasn't able to do that, I would not be able to travel around the world, be in Spain right now, be in Europe for a whole 3 months, and traveling, doing healing, helping hundreds of souls around the world through retreats and medicine, and living a life of freedom in my heart most of all. And if that is something that, for sure it is something you're here for, you're my people. This is why you're watching this video. This is why you're here. I have created for you a sacral chakra transmission course. In this course, I'm going to give you 4 specific transmissions that will shift your whole energy. All you got to do is show up and repeat it again and again and again. That's all. You just have to show up and repeat it again and again. And for the wombs and for the women out there, I would put an extra caveat to do the womb transmission as well. Because again, our womb, our sacral, both those spaces, we're going to go even deeper. And let me tell you, the power you're going to receive in this, ladies, women, you are going to see power in this and some. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a healer, you're a person, my journey, my mission is to make sure that every being in this earth no longer is suppressing their birthright. That every being is free, and which starts with the sacral. So I have them separately. There's also a bundle if you're interested in it. You can go and enroll in that. You're ready. It's right there for you. We're going to take everything I talked about in this video and we're going to put it into action now. Because now we've created with the feminine, we've brought in the energies. We're now going to have a tool that will allow you to do the exact same thing, whether it's wanting to travel around the world, whether it's wanting to call in a relationship, having financial freedom, you name it, your wish is your command. I'm your genie here with this course. So go and do that. I cannot wait to see the transformation for you because your life will never, ever, and I promise you, be the same. And I'm so excited for you. That's it for today. I'm going to leave you at that. And again, it is such an honor to hold you in this space, and I'll see you in the next one.